Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. It's an everyday thing. It's an every hour of everyday thing. It's a every minute of every hour of everyday thing. It's just an ongoing process, isn't it? Of learning to just roll things over on God and trust Him. I know I got a list. Look, I got a long list I was giving Him this morning. Right, Lord, I need this, I need that. and then sometimes you get into the spot where you just want to go, you know what, just forget it. Just forget it. I don't even know what to do anymore. I don't know I can't fix this. God, can you help me? Have you ever just wanted to give up though? And I've had one of the things that's been frustrating for me on this journey with Chris was I wanted to give up, but I just couldn't. Right? I just couldn't stop believing God. I had to, every time I wanted to say, I'm just not even going to pray anymore, something would come up and I'm praying again. I'm asking God, oh God, please give me help. Please help me, give me strength. And I remind myself of those scriptures. And that's how we encourage ourselves in the Lord, like David did. Remind ourselves, what do the scriptures say? He's still our peace. He's still our provider. He's still our shepherd. He's still our pastor. He's still the keeper of our souls, right? He never takes a day off. I'm good. I'm glad for that. I'm really glad for that. But there's been times I've just wanted to give up, right? I'm tired. Maybe I'm just tired. I just want to give up on this thing called life and just go, can I just go sit in the corner for a little while? Maybe God put me in the corner. I don't know. But sometimes you just want to walk away from some stuff and you just, I'm not a real good give up person. I'm going to fight till I die getting something, right? But sometimes there are those times where we just go, I just want to give up. So I was thinking about that this morning. I was praying about some things. I was rolling, doing what Scripture says, rolling them over on Him and trying not to let them get back in my head and take over, right? Okay, God, I need an answer for this. Lord, please give me an answer for this. And I'm just going to trust you. And I'm going to be in peace, even if I don't see this yet. I'm going to trust you for this, God. I got a long list. I bet you do too. And I was just thinking, there's just no way to just give up. And I was like, I thought of somebody in the Bible who tried to give up. Now, this was a good give up, I guess. And I went back to Moses. And we talk about Moses quite a bit. We talk about the children of Israel. I mean, this is one of the main things that's mentioned in the New Testament. It's always, even throughout the New Testament and throughout most of the rest of the Old Testament, after Exodus, after Deuteronomy, Joshua, right after they get there, everything's going back to the God who brought them out of Egypt. We're going to talk about the God who went and got His people and brought them out of bondage, brought them out of Egypt. But He used Moses to do that. And He comes to Moses in chapter 3 of Exodus and He says, you can be sure I have seen the misery of my people. I have heard their cries. I am aware of their suffering. I have come to rescue them. What powerful words from God. Just to know, and this is not even what I was going to talk about, right? That He sees when we're miserable. He sees our situations. He hears our cries, even the ones that don't make it out real loud, right? He is aware of our suffering. He has come to rescue us from bondage, period, right? And so we can be sure of that. But then He tells Moses, He goes, go. He said, I have come to get my people. Now go get them. Bring them to me. And Moses starts in with, what? I don't think so. Moses is like, I can't go back to Pharaoh. I'm hiding here because I killed someone. And he goes through this whole litany of excuses. I can't this, I can't that, and there's no way. And God's already not told him to do anything. He's like, I'm coming to get my people, and I'm asking you to play. You want to play with me? Let's go. Come on. Right? And I'm asking you to participate in the miracle I'm about to do for my people. It wasn't ever about Moses. It was about this intense love and passion God had for His people. And He's like, come on, Moses, we're going to go get my people. Let's go get them. I want to go get them out of that. Right? And He's because I understand. And so He's telling it. And so He goes through this. We know the story, right? God tells him, Moses is like, well, they're not going to believe me. And what if this and what if that? It sounds, I relate, okay? Because before God even says something, I've got 20 questions, right? And so Moses is going, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. And finally, Moses, at the end of all of this discourse, and you can go read the whole discourse in chapter 4 there, but at the very end, in verse 13 of chapter 4, Moses again pleads with God, and he says, please send someone else. He's like, I'm out. I want to tap out to avoid pain. That's what tap out means, right? I'm going to tap out. I want out of the fight. I give. I surrender. I don't want to do it. Please send someone else. Now, this did not make God real happy, because he's been working with Moses here for this whole chapter, these 2 chapters, trying to say, come on, Moses, we're going to go get this, right? But here's the thing. It says the Lord became angry with Moses, and he says, okay, fine, all right. He says, what about Aaron, your brother, the Levite? And then he tells him, he goes, he's a good speaker, and look, he's on the way. He's on his way. That's what it says right there in verse 14. And look, he is on his way to meet you now. So while Moses is arguing with God, and Moses is going, I can't do this, and Moses finally gets to the point where he's so overwhelmed, he just goes, send someone else. I don't want to do it. He finally got to the heart of the matter. I don't want to. I just don't want to. Can't you just send someone else? And he says, send someone else. And God tells him, Aaron's on his way. You see, before Moses got to that point of, I want to give up and give in, before he got to that point, Aaron had already left and started that way. His answer, Moses' help, Moses' companion, his brother, was already on the way. Moses didn't know that, because they didn't have ChatGPT. They didn't have internet. They didn't have the phone. They couldn't text and go, hey, Moses, I'm headed your way. Or they didn't have 360, right? Oh, Moses go, oh, look, Aaron's on the move. Aaron just left home. Where's he going? Right? He's coming this way. Look at that. They didn't have 360. They didn't have a text message. And so now God's telling Moses, Aaron's on his way. Aaron had already left to come to his side before Moses gave up and said, just send someone else. His answer was already on the way. His help was already on the way. So I'm encouraging myself this morning, and thanks for listening in. You can listen in, to just don't give up. Help is on its way, even if I don't see it. He couldn't see Aaron. He wasn't going to see Aaron for days, maybe even weeks. I don't even know how far out he was, right? But he couldn't see Aaron. He didn't have a message from Aaron. He didn't have 360 to track him. He couldn't see where he was. He didn't have a AirPod on him. He did not know where Aaron was, but Aaron was already on his way before he said, forget it, send someone else. I don't want to do this. And help was already on the way. No matter what we're facing today, there is help on the way. So don't give up. Don't be like Moses and get to this point and say, just send someone else. I just don't want to do it. Let's just keep trusting God. You know what I like about this? God didn't take this out of the Bible. He could have just skipped that part and go, oh, by the way, Aaron's on his way, right? But the whole thing is, that's the thing. He didn't leave this out. He let us see this vulnerability, how vulnerable Moses is. He let us see that in Moses, where Moses is just going, I just don't want to do it. Just send somebody else. And yet there's movies about Moses. There's stories about Moses. Moses and the faith of Moses. Moses is listed in Hebrews 11 in the Hall of Faith, even though he got to the point where he said, I don't want to do it. God didn't cut him out of the will. He didn't cut him out of the story. And he didn't leave out his exasperation either. I love that, because even in the middle of this, God already had an answer on the way. So don't give up. It's okay if you get to that point. Tell God how you feel. Moses did. And God didn't say, oh, okay, never mind. I'll go find somebody. No, I'll go find somebody else. Right? Moses' extreme anxiety, I would have been anxious. I'd have been anxious to see my rod turn into a snake and then God tell me to pick it up. I'm out of here. No, I don't think so. Right? And to just hear the enormity of the call that God's giving Moses here, go get my people. And there's only a few 100,000 of them, right? And you're just going to lead them across back up to the promised land. And so it was not a small thing. I get anxious just reading what God's telling Moses he's going to do. I get that. But God did not give up on Moses. He didn't change his plan. He didn't say, let me get somebody else. And he understood Moses' exasperation at this point. He was like, God, just send somebody else. I just don't want to go. I just don't want to go do it. And God didn't go lightning, didn't strike him with lightning, fry him down to his toes. You know, he actually, I don't know if the right word is appreciated, but God said, I get that. Let me just send you some help then. And he wasn't real happy about it, because he wanted it to be just him and Moses. And if you think about it, once they get off, and we're only a few chapters away when they get off into the wilderness, in just a little while, Moses goes to the mountain to talk to God. And what does Aaron do? He builds a golden calf. He helps the people go back into idolatry and hold on to that slave mentality of Egypt. And Moses is like, Why'd you even send him? Well, and he was so angry with Aaron, but here he welcomes Aaron because Aaron was already on the way. By the time Moses was to the point, this anxious point where he was like, I just can't do this. It's okay to say, I just can't do this, because God will already have something on the way. A person, an answer, a solution, something. He's already got an answer in here. God's got us covered. And even if we can't see Aaron come towards us, even if we don't know Aaron, the answer is on his way, help is on the way, God's got a better sight of the whole project. He can see so much more, and he understands so much more than we can. But it's okay to tell him, I don't get this. I don't like this. I don't know what to do. We can tell God how we feel. And I love that he didn't cut it out. He didn't say, okay, strike that from the record, because I don't want anybody to know that Moses felt that way. He could have left it out. He could have said, no, don't let that get canonized. Don't let that get included. He did not. He let us see the vulnerability of Moses and his exasperation at the enormity of this call that God's placing on his life. And he was just trying to hide out in the wilderness. He wanted anything but to go back and face Pharaoh. He wanted anything to go back, anything other than going back in that situation that he had hidden himself from, right? And God's going, Aaron's on his way. Help is on the way. I got you covered. Come on, let's go get my people. I got a bigger plan. And then we read about it all through here. All the stuff God did with Moses and the children of Israel, how God was so intimate with Moses, and Moses got to see God face to face. He spoke with him face to face and heard his voice and understood, got the 10 Commandments, got the law, spent 40 years trying to get slavery, the slave mentality out of the Egyptians. God really does care. And he let us see that the people in the Bible were humans just like us. We can take heart today, because let faith tell us Aaron's on the way, and answers on the way, solutions on the way for whatever we're facing today, whatever we got on that long list of, these are my chief concerns, God. I've got a long list. And he's like, it's okay. I knew you were going to get to this point, and I already got a plan. I already sent Aaron before you even got to this point. He was already headed this way. He's got an answer, and he's got an answer for you too. And he will not condemn you for saying, I can't do this, or I don't want to do it, right? He will still send that answer. And that's why we can peace out. Peace out, you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday morning.